Have you ever had a bolt of inspiration? Lightning strikes and you've got a brilliant idea for a song, but the second you go to write it down, it suddenly evaporates? I'll explain why that happens and I'll show you how to solve it in this video. Hi, I'm Trevor Dimoff. I transform musicians into songwriters at epicsongwriting.com. If you want to learn more about anything I talk about in this video, click the link below in the description. Now, you've got this idea for a song. It comes out of nowhere. It's a surprise to you and you go to write it down, but suddenly the idea vanishes on you. You can't capture it. You can't catch it and put it on paper or onto a computer where you can start to manipulate it, edit it, and make it into a full song. This happens for a variety of reasons. The most four common reasons are follows. Number one, you've got feelings and emotions in this inspiration. You've got these sensations and you've got these ideas, but they're not words. You have to translate them into words so that later your lyrics can inspire images and ideas and emotions in your audience. So you've got these words in the way. You're feeling things, but you have to put them in words. You've got images and emotions that you're trying to control, but you can't put them into words. You have to translate them. Reason number two, it's easier to imagine than do. It's easy to imagine being an Olympic athlete, but you have to do the work to get there. You have to do the training. You have to qualify. You have to get a coach. There's all these steps. It's easy to imagine the end result, but it's getting there that's difficult. A lot of people think of songwriting as something that's instantaneous. I get this idea and suddenly I have a song, but there are all these steps in the way to get there. So instead of thinking about songwriting as photography, where you set the stage, you set the lights, you get your scene and your angle perfect, and then you snap a shot and it's done. Think about songwriting like painting. You have that same scene, but you have to build the colors and layer and find shapes and put it all together. You have to construct it. It's not an instantaneous process. It's very rare that someone sits down and just scribbles out a song. There's stories about it, but these instant songs sound great in the press. They make an awesome story. That's why we remember them. It's what we wish happened. It's not really true. Reason number three, usually when you start writing, you try to write from the beginning to the end. You want to create a story. Humans are hardwired for stories. That's how we think about things. So you want to start with the beginning, build a middle, and get to the ending. Just like the listener experiences the song from the beginning to the end. That's how you try to build a song. But if you get stuck in line number two, if you have a crappy rhyme at the end of line number one, going to line number two, you stop. And that hesitation will throw you off. Instead, think about building chaotically. You don't have to start at the beginning and go to the end. Just snatch ideas. I'll explain more in a second. Number four, most musicians think in music, not words. If I've practiced guitar for 5 years and spent an hour a day or however much time I've put into it, that's a lot of experience, a lot of practice with that instrument. But if I haven't been writing that long, or if I haven't been writing lyrics for long, it's more difficult. So a lot of what it comes down to is what you've practiced, what you've worked on. So the problems are, just a summary, you're trying to translate feelings and images into words. Imagining to do it is easier than actually doing it. Starting from the beginning to the end isn't the natural way that these things come to you. And finally, as musicians, you've got more experience working with music than with words. Now, here are the solutions. I think about this in a 3-step process. Number one, come up with words. Don't think about full lines. Don't try to create lyrics full formed. If I'm talking about love, I've got, well, what kind of love? Let's say bad love. So I've got this bad love that I want to talk about. Well, what does that feel like? What words come to mind? What phrases, 2 or 3 or 4 words come to mind that fit that? How can I start creating this? What are the building blocks that I'm going to use? Next, what does it look like? So what's the situation that I'm in? Or who are the characters that I'm interacting with? Who am I? It may not be you. It could be a character that you create. What feelings are they going through? What does it feel like to the people involved in this story? What does it sound like? What does it taste and smell like? What sensations are going on that will help a listener feel the world that you're trying to create? Who's there? What are they doing? What's the story? Now, start with the bits and pieces before you try to build the story. It's much easier that way. Now, you can also build a story, but don't think about it in words. Write in prose. Just sit and write stuff. This process is called brainstorming, and there's a link in the video below to take you to another video about this. There's The basic idea is you just write and don't worry about it or judge it, edit later. But there's some finer points that you might want to check out if you haven't tried brainstorming before. Step number 2, edit. So I've got all these bits and pieces. I think about songwriting as puzzle building. So I don't necessarily know what the picture on the box is going to be until I'm almost done. But I have a sense of it. I know I want to build a puzzle about bad love. So what are the pieces? I've built my pieces with my ideas and short words and phrases. I'm not going to use all of them. They may not fit. They might belong better in another song, but start putting them together. So as you edit, you're looking for the patterns. What's the story underneath all of them? Can I build those pieces into a story? Then I get to the level of lines and rhymes and worrying about how many syllables in each line or where the accented syllables are. I don't start with that. It's very difficult to write straight to prose, write straight to lyrics. It's easier to write in prose. So first I pick my words and phrases, and then I start putting them together to create a journey for my audience. So the third step is where I've got my story, where I start building my lyrics and lines. First the bits and pieces. Then I start putting them together until I finally start to get to the line level and the section level. So 4 reasons why turning your ideas into song lyrics are difficult. Quick reminder. Number 1, you're taking feelings and emotions and trying to translate them into words. It's not always an easy process. Number 2, it's easier to imagine your finished product than go through all the steps to get there. Number 3, starting from the beginning and working straight through to the end linearly is more difficult and very often not how we work creatively. Problem number 4 is, as musicians, most of us think better in music than in words. So going to the lyrics is more difficult. It's automatically more challenging for you because you haven't practiced it as much. The solution is start with bits and pieces, edit them, find the ones that work and the ones that don't, and start to build them into a story and create a linear experience for your audience from your verses, pre-chorus, chorus, bridge to the end. And that's how you take your ideas and turn them into song lyrics. I'm Trevor Dimoff from epicsongwriting.com. There are links below in the description to give you more information about what I talked about today.